everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taco Matta Tuesday, the show where we eat healthy, delicious tacos and have conversations about life. I'd rather regret the things that I've done rather than regret the things I haven't done. I just want you to sink that into your brain, into your heart really quick, because this is so true. I'd rather regret the things that I've done knowing that I learned a lesson and became a better human being because of it, rather than regret the fact that I never had the courage to take the leap of faith, to take the chance and see what would happen on the other side, and better yet, let fear get the best of me. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. This point is going to be really relevant, but you won't see how it's relevant till towards the end of the podcast, so you want to be sure to listen to the whole thing. First, though, before we dive into the hodgepodge of topics that we're going to talk about today, let's talk about the taco of the week, which is also like hodgepodgey in a way. I think one of the best hodgepodges that people enjoy, especially when it comes to the sandwich world, is a BLT. Then you add avocado and lime as additional kind of boosters, and you have yourself a pretty damn good taco. So that is the taco of the week, avocado lime BLT tacos. You know the drill. Go to the show notes. Look at the recipe card before you leave the episode today. It is so good. And what I love of that is it's simple to make. Okay, so if you are all about simple, quick, easy, and it has the benefit of being healthy, you are my people. This is your recipe. All right, let's do it. Let's jump into the topic of today. So I was trying to think about, like, what's the one topic that I could talk about today that would really put all of these thoughts that I have together, and I couldn't think of just one, honestly. It's been 2 competition weekends back to back. This last weekend was Ninja, the weekend before was DECA, and there was just so many great things that came from both of those weekends, and it's so funny because both of their weekends, while they were absolutely so amazing, they both have like that little like, oh, that's a bummer. Like if you listened to the podcast last week, which was really good, please go back and listen to that one if you haven't after this. Last weekend's, I guess the DECA weekend, they accidentally put my tank on the wrong resistance level, so I was pushing the men's weight the entire time. That was fun and heavy. And I added on an additional, like an entire minute to my normal split times for the tank, which I would have easily PR'd had it not been that way. So it's kind of like the, oh, bummer, like I put in the work like I want it now and you didn't get it. And then this weekend, I put on an absolutely such a great performance that I was so proud of. But I just made one really silly mistake of not taking an extra backswing to make sure that my swing was lined up. I did the hardest part of the ring chaser obstacle, and then I just totally blooped the dismount. My toe came off the dismount. And so that point literally costed me first place, and I took 4th place instead. Like, that's how close it all was. It came down to first place was 7 points, 2nd through 4th was 6 points, and it came down by time, and I had like a buzzer beater at the very end with one last point. So like, it was just like, oh, it was so cool, and I had so much freaking fun that I still don't really care as much, but it's still one of those things where it's like, well, you know, that could have happened. But anyways, so there was just a hodgepodge of thoughts that I have after this last weekend and the weekend previous that I just want to share with you in no specific order, because they're just amazing life lessons. And that's what this show is all about, right? Is me living through life and trying to help someone else realize that they're not alone, that's listening on the other side of the microphone, and that they can do it, and that they can build the courage and the strength to continue to walk through the things that sometimes feel impossible, sometimes feel unbearable. So the first thing that I want to talk about is when you've lost your joy for whatever it is that you do, whether it's a hobby, athletics, your job, when you've lost your joy for that thing, you know that something is not right and you need to listen to that. I cannot tell you how many times that specific mindset has served me right. When I was in that really toxic relationship a couple years back and I hated my body, I felt sluggish and lethargic. I couldn't even get off the couch to go enjoy my life. And all of my joy was sucked out of everything. Clearly, I listened, right? That was kind of a big one, but it took me a long time to act on it. And I learned my lesson there. And then it came down to flash forward, I got into the best shape of my life and I realized how much I loved helping people do what I did, like being a light for them, saying, hey, I've been where you're at before. Let me help you find health and joy and just the ability to live your life again. And so I was losing joy for my full-time career that I was making 6 figures in, was being promoted left and right. Like, I had it made out for me. I had the real definition of success, and I put that in quotes, right? And it didn't matter because I didn't have the joy for it. And because of the lesson that I learned from a couple years back before I started to lose the weight and when I left that relationship, I knew that I had to listen, and I made the biggest jump of my life by leaving my corporate job, all stability, when everyone was running towards stability because it was COVID. And I left my job to start my own business in health and wellness. And so it's been sort of this guiding principle of my life is when there's not joy there for it, it's like, why do it? And I get it. Not every single day is going to be a walk in the park. Not every day you're going to wake up excited to do something and you're not even going to feel motivated. Don't even actually get me started on motivation. But guys, you know the difference between like, this is just a bad day, I'm not feeling it, versus like, there is something seriously wrong. And unfortunately, so many of us stay stuck in that situation because we're so afraid of what's on the other side. Whose feelings am I going to hurt? What are other people going to think? What's going to happen? What if I fail? Guys, the biggest failure in life is having success without enjoyment. That is what Tony Robbins preaches, and I could not agree more than that. If you do not have that sense of joy, I'm sorry, why? I'm not saying every single piece of your life is going to be joyful. Like, so not everything's going to be walk in the park, but that's what we should really strive for. And isn't that when our best work, isn't that when we feel like we're actually creating an impact, is when we're doing the things that bring us ultimate joy? I know that's me. At least my best work, my best self, everything that is the best comes out when I'm doing things that are in line with that joy factor. So if there's anything that I can tell you, it's please do not let your stubbornness or your guilt or your ego make you feel like you have to keep going. Don't let that be the reason that you stick with something that you know is not serving you. And so I hope what comes out of me saying this is that for those of you that felt that in your heart, can take a gut check moment and really reflect on what are those things in your life that need to maybe make a pivot, okay? And realize that you are so worth it. And the worst thing that could happen is you not doing the thing, is by you not going and seeing what's on the other side, truly. The next thing that I want to mention is everything. And I'm going to say everything. And I'm saying this from a perspective of I am working to be an elite athlete, all the things, everything is 100% mental. Everything. Fight me on it. It's mental. And here's why I say this. So in previous years, I have trained for Ninja 2 to 3 times minimum a week, like harder training sessions. And granted, I competed in the pros. The pros is much harder than what some of the courses I'm competing on now. They're still hard, don't get me wrong. But it's a whole different level, especially here in Colorado. I swear the gym owners are like, how can I make these people's lives like a living hell? Well, for the next 3 to 4 minutes while they're on my course. I love you guys, but like seriously, that's exactly what it feels like. So granted, I did bump down a division. But regardless of what division I'm in, there's a feeling, right, that you get of like, wow, I'm making progress, or wow, I did really well, or wow, that felt really smooth, that felt right, versus the exact opposite. I think we all can kind of get that line there. I maybe, and I'm not even kidding you, I train once a week. And that's if I'm not dying. Because I'm putting all of my time and my energy and effort into DECA. That is the thing that I've decided I'm specializing in. And Ninja has become a hobby. And because of that, yesterday, I did not get nervous whatsoever. Like standing at the starting line, like warming up. Like, yeah, of course, there's like the little butterflies of like, oh God, here we go. But it's like, it was just excitement. And it was just like, you're totally zoned in and you don't feel like just this unnecessary pressure. I have just been able to just live and be present, and it's so freaking cool. And because of that this year, and just this idea of like, this is my hobby, this is just something that I love to do because it's just so fun to explore and be adventurous in this way, I have done better, and I've seen more podiums than I've seen in my first year of Ninja, and B, in any of my years of Ninja, when I'm not even training that hard. And so what does that tell me? That tells me that a lot of what we do is mental. You can practice over and over and over again. And let me tell you guys, I am strong, but I am not the strongest person out there on that course every time. There are women out there that are way stronger than I am. Don't let my muscles deceive you. Sometimes they don't work. I swear to God, they're just for show sometimes. But in all seriousness, physicality only can go to a certain point. Yes, I have the grip strength to hang on a bar. You need that, okay? So I'm not saying there's nothing physical that's involved in certain things, but my point is that look at the track record here. When I let go and get present, guys, the things that come out of this are just amazing. Like the best piece of advice that I've gotten recently was from my coach, Kevin Gregory. And I was talking to him about the fact that the one thing that was going to keep me from doing what I want to do this year is my mindset. And he just had me think about like, well, Kayla, why does this one workout have to be the reason that you get all psyched out? Like, what if it's just another workout? You've done workouts that are way harder than this. You've done this workout plenty of times. What if it's just another workout? And I'm like, God, you're so right, because it is. It's just another workout. So what if I attacked it that way? What if I attacked it with the confidence in knowing that I know I'm going to do well because I worked my ass off for it, right? Like, it's just so important that you guys know that what it is that you're trying to get to, the biggest thing that's standing in your way is you and your mindset. I promise you, it's you and your mindset. So again, this is another sort of check your gut moment to not only check your mindset around the certain goals and things that you have that you're going after right now, but to also find opportunities every single day to build it. And this is where I talk so much and preach about getting uncomfortable, getting really good at being uncomfortable. Because if you can do that, best believe you can do that. If I could do some scary ass obstacles, better believe that I can go do that. If I could do the assault bike in 44 seconds, which actually feels like you might fall over and pass out and die, better believe I could go do that. Okay? Like, put yourself into more situations where you have to bet on you, where you have to bet on yourself that you are going to get through to the other side and everything is going to be okay. And better yet, that you are going to be able to walk yourself and talk yourself through that. That is the best thing that you can do for yourself day in, day out. It's not about doing 1,000 more reps of something. Again, you could be the strongest person in the room, but if you're not mentally the strongest person in the room, it doesn't matter. So work on building more opportunities in your life to build up that mental game. Okay. And if you are struggling with that, you could go through like the last couple of weeks of podcasts and listen to those, because it has been all about the mental game and they've been really freaking good. Okay. All right. The next one, I have two more that I want to talk about, and then I'll let you guys go for your lovely Tuesday. You don't get what you want. You get what you need. Yeah. You don't get what you want. You get what you need. Here is the thing. Would it have been nice to take first place or get on the podium yesterday? Of course. Like, that's always fun. No one's going to say no to that. But I didn't need to be on the podium again. Would it have been so freaking nice to hit a new PR and like feel like, oh my gosh, it finally happened for me. I did it. Da, 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 da. Like the weekend of DECA, instead of like be pushing the wrong freaking tank. Of course it would. But neither of those two things were what I needed. What I needed was to learn the lessons that each of these situations have taught me. Truly. Like, I needed to remember yesterday how much I loved Ninja and how much more important it is for me to enjoy what I'm doing and how I move my body than, again, seek a podium. I needed to remember to not rush things. I needed to remember to just enjoy the journey. I needed to remember that these lessons that I'm learning are going to set me up for future situations down the road. And that is going to be the biggest difference maker between getting to where I'm at now and where it is that I actually want to go. It's helping me remember to trust in the universe and in divine timing. That I'm exactly where it is that I'm supposed to be right now in this moment. And that if I just take it day by day, lesson by lesson, I'll get to wherever it is that I'm meant to be. So if right now you're beating yourself up because you didn't get what you want, or you're throwing your hands up in the air asking, when is it ever going to be my turn? When is it ever going to be my shot? Please realize that life is happening for you every single day. And it is your choice to see that. It is your choice to step in to what it is that life is serving you up right now and step into your power. Please take that choice wisely. Don't let your life pass you by because you are so focused on trying to jiggle the door open on a handle that is freaking locked. If you are really working that hard and getting that frustrated, and then on top of that, losing your joy because of it, it's not worth it. You are not in the right spot. Take a deep breath, turn around, and look at how things are truly showing up for you every single day. Okay? The last thing that I want to mention for you guys is you will never, ever, 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 ever fail when taking a risk. And I am saying that, and it almost makes me want to throw up, right? Because when you feel like you're taking a risk, and maybe it's your one shot to go after something, you only got one shot to make it happen, it's terrifying. You don't want to mess it up. So therefore, you shy away from what you're capable of because you would rather play it safe. Well, let me tell you this, is even if you fell in the water like I have multiple seasons now on American Ninja Warrior, even if you missed the dismount pad by a little bit because you knew that you wanted to try and be efficient with your movement and not take too many backswings, whatever it is, right? The thing that you're afraid of taking a risk on, take it. Do the thing. Sorry, something fell behind me and it just scared the crap out of me, okay? Because the worst thing that happens is that you learn the lesson, that some other door or opportunity opens up for you. Actually, I'm going to take that back. The worst thing that happens is the fact that you fail by never trying. That is the worst thing that happens, is that you actually fail because you never tried in the first place. Guys, you got to risk it. And remember that quote that I said at the very beginning, I'd rather regret the things that I've done than regret the things that I haven't done. Regret that maybe there was a time that you took a risk and maybe, hey, it was the wrong choice. Maybe you made the wrong decision in life and it came with some repercussions. Oh, well. You're still alive. You're still breathing. You're still learning. You're still attacking the day, right? Think about how that built you. But think about all the things that you haven't done and how that eats you alive. Think about that thing that is bringing you no joy right now, and you're thinking about the thing instead that would bring you so much more joy. And think about what the consequences are if you continue to give in to fear and not take the leap of faith. About who you sacrifice and no longer becoming, the experiences that you're going to forego. It's not worth it. What's worth it is going for it and seeing what's on the other side. And if you're struggling right now to take the risk for you, I want you to take the risk for someone else. This is another really wonderful quote, is Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. So I want you to think about the choice that you're making today, all the choices that you're making today, how that can maybe impact someone that you love, someone that you don't even know, but it's going to absolutely change their life. If you can't do it for you today, do it for the fact that you are going to make significant impact by just finding your courage to go against the grain. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today, and I hope that this episode truly made an impact. If it did, please rate or review the podcast if you haven't already, and share this with a friend or family member that absolutely needs to hear it. Until then, I hope that you feel all the inspiration to go and take risks today, lean into joy, and remember that life is always showing up for you. I will see you guys next week for another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. See you then.